is Haruka Aizawa. It's been a few months since I got married with Rikiya, who is also my colleague. We had been living together before marriage, so our lifestyles haven't changed drastically. Or so I wish I could say. Rikiya has changed completely since we got married, and it's been really frustrating me lately. For example, back when we were still dating and living together...
Good morning. I'll be late tonight since I have a business drinking party to go to.
Okay, I'll put your food in the fridge.
Thanks. You're really good at cooking. I always look forward to it after work.
Anyway, don't you need to go to the bakery?
Oh yeah, you're right. Hey, do you want some bread for breakfast too?
I already made my share of rice balls, so I'll be okay.
It's impressive that you bring a bento every day. Anyways, I should go buy some bread.
We both have different preferences, with me preferring rice balls and Rikiya bread and coffee for breakfast. Which is why we had decided to prepare our own breakfasts by ourselves in order to respect our different preferences. But now, after we've gotten married...
Hey, why are you cleaning now?
I want to relax tomorrow.
I'm tired from work, so hearing all this noise makes me even more exhausted.
Well, help me out then, Rikiya.
I don't have the energy for doing housework, so you should do it. If you can't manage this, you shouldn't be working. Can't you support me better?
I do care about you, but that's a different issue.
We're married now, right? So you need to fit to my lifestyle.
Huh? What's with his attitude? We managed this when we were living together before.
That's different.
How is that different? Don't you remember that we agreed to split the housework evenly?
The situation was different back then.
None of my words got through to Rikiya. I was confused on how he suddenly couldn't do the things he had no problem with before we got married.
Huh? Where's my breakfast?
The bread? I didn't buy it.
No, it's a wife's job to have breakfast ready when her husband gets up.
But we both agreed we'd prepare our own breakfast by ourselves.
What are you talking about? We're married already. I have a job to do, so I want you to support me.
But I also have work.
Huh? Don't you understand you're now part of the Aizawa family?
What does he mean by that? I said this before marriage. I don't want an unfair burden for either of us just because we're married.
I was able to put up with your requests since we weren't married yet, but that isn't realistic now, is it?
Huh? Do you have any idea how absurd you sound right now? I'm supposed to do all the housework and cater to your needs all the time? Why did everything you say change so much as soon as we got married?
Our roles have changed since before we got married. I trust you to take care of the house, and I'm the breadwinner of this household.
After having to listen to Rikiya's absurd words for on and on, I felt dizzy just by hearing his words.
Have you even thought about our future together?
Of course I have. Didn't we talk this through and agree on it together?
No, you don't understand. Who's going to look after our children when we have them?
The two of us, of course.
No, you've got it all wrong. Like I said, my role is to be the breadwinner of this house, which means you're supposed to look after them.
So you're just tossing all the responsibility on me?
Don't say it like that. But really, it'll be a problem when you have children.
What do you mean by that?
We can't have separate breakfasts once we have kids, right? And if they suddenly get sick, someone has to go pick them up.
That's something we can handle by working together.
Like I was saying, I need to work to support the family. Do you not understand what I mean by support?
But we can decide that after we actually have children.
That's what I'm saying you don't understand. You should get used to this lifestyle, rather than freaking out over it later, right?
That just sounds like you're planning on leaving everything up to me.
You still don't get it after all this? I'm worried for our future.
Hey, we're not done talking.
I'll do this myself for today. But next time, think things through and act accordingly. I wonder if they still have freshly baked bread at this hour.
Huh? Does he really plan on making me do all the housework? I was so frustrated that day. So I cleaned the whole house, even the places that didn't need cleaning.
Huh? Did you forget what I said already?
About what?
My portion of breakfast. I can't go about my day without fresh bread and a cup of coffee.
You were like that since you were a student, right? I know that.
Well, then it should be prepared, right? I did tell you yesterday.
Huh? Are you really telling me to go buy your food and prepare it before I go to work?
I told you that you need to support me so I can do better at work, right?
I go to work at the same company as you.
That's no excuse. If you didn't have time to go buy the bread, you should have just gotten a bread maker and prepared the bread from last night.
Why do I need to do all this? Fine! Rikiya's actions don't sit right with me at all. So I put the bread and the jar of instant coffee that were in the kitchen on the table and quickly left the house. What's wrong with him? Wow, Rikiya's really pushing it, isn't he? This is the exact situation I was hoping to avoid. I can't tell if he's just caught up in the excitement of marriage or if this is his true self showing through. I can't help but think he's serious. I wonder if I should have seen through him sooner. He's probably the type that believes it's proper for a wife to stay out of the spotlight and support her husband. But he didn't show an inch of those beliefs when we were dating. Maybe that's how he was brought up. Huh? His parents didn't seem like those type of people, though. Then why don't you try to figure out the cause of his behavior first? Who knows? The cause could be from something unexpected, like your subconscious actions. My actions? She has a point. Perhaps I was too quick-tempered just because things didn't go as I planned. Why don't you try talking it out calmly? You're right. It's not like I want to fight with him. Thanks, Toko. No problem. Good luck. Maybe I'll actually buy a bread maker. I wouldn't suggest that. It's pretty noisy. Oh, really? So I decided to set up a discussion with Rikiya and worked extra hard this week. Huh? The vacuum cleaner isn't working. Oh, great. I liked this model since it was quiet and easy to use even after work. Since I was planning to have a talk with Rikiya on the weekend, I was planning to spend my time today as usual. Should I go buy a new one on the weekend or just order one on the internet right now?
I'm home. What are you doing?
Oh, welcome home.
Here.
Huh? What are you doing?
Do I have to explain everything for you?
Well, how am I supposed to know when you don't explain anything?
At my house, this was the rule. When the husband comes home, the wife hangs his suit up. Make sure it doesn't get wrinkled.
Do that yourself.
You didn't even greet me when I came home.
I was busy with the vacuum. Oh, by the way, it seems the vacuum cleaner isn't working. We can just get a new one on the internet, right?
Huh? Why?
I can't clean without it. And it would be easier than having to go buy one on the weekend, right?
There's no need for that. You can just use a rag to clean.
Huh?
The vacuum cleaner isn't working, right? Why don't you just clean with rags from now on instead?
Are you serious?
Besides, it's absurd to be using a vacuum cleaner at such late hours.
That's why I tried to use a duster or mop as much as possible on weeknights. And even when I use a vacuum cleaner, I make sure to use a quiet one.
This would all be solved if you didn't insist on being selfish. And working a full-time job, right?
What do you mean by selfish?
If you had quit working or shortened your work hours, you wouldn't have had to clean after work.
That's because you don't help at all during the weekends. If we finished the cleaning on the weekends, it would be easier.
That's just being lazy. At my home, the house is supposed to be clean and tidy. Before the breadwinner returns home.
You keep bringing up your family, but your mother also works full-time, doesn't she?
Well, my mom has long years of experience, so she has no problem taking care of the house.
Your father goes shopping together on weekends, though.
Fine, fine. I'll go shopping with you, okay?
That's not what I meant.
I'll go with you to buy a new vacuum cleaner on the weekend. So could you please not make me so frustrated? You can just wipe the house until then.
Huh? Is this my fault? How do you all think about this? Maybe it's just that I'm not managing it well yet, while other wives seem to handle this with ease. Gosh, Rikiya really crossed the line with suggesting you clean with rags. I know, right? I even considered wearing a kappogi just to get into the role. I wonder why he relies on you so much. I have no idea. He keeps saying it's the Aizawa family rules, but the reality is different. It seems like something you need to get to the bottom of. Otherwise, it's going to end up being a disaster. Really? Anyway, we're going to buy a new vacuum cleaner this weekend, so I'll try to figure things out then. For now, I decided to have a talk with Rikiya after our outing. Alright, I finished hanging the laundry. Now I need to get ready.
Hey, are you done yet?
I'm going to get ready now. Could you wait?
You really are inefficient, aren't you? We already have planned this from a while back.
Keep calm, keep calm.
If anything, I'm going shopping today because of your insistence, Haruka.
Yes, that's true.
I'm even driving you today, so hurry up, will you?
Jeez, what is his problem? Since I was getting more and more irritated at Rikiya's words, I took a deep breath before I left the house. Let's go. But despite my efforts, I ended up doing something drastic afterward. Oh, this looks like it handles well in tight spaces.
Are you going to use it at night again?
I'll avoid using it on weeknights, just like I always have.
Huh? Then why did we come all the way out here?
What are you talking about? The vacuum cleaner is broken.
Well, you could just wipe the house with rags during the weekends, right? Stop trying to make excuses.
Could you stop? We're in public right now, you know.
It's true, though. What's with that attitude after all I'm doing for you today?
Fine. So I'm the incompetent one? Fine then. Well then, I have an idea of my own. I have my pride too. Since I couldn't put up with Rikiya's absurd standards, I took Rikiya to a specific section of the store. If you insist so much, could you buy this so I can support you within my capacity?
Huh? What is this?
It's a bread maker. You wanted to have freshly baked bread to eat for breakfast, right?
Well, yeah.
So we should just prepare the bread the night before. Then you'd be able to have freshly baked bread just as you like, right?
Well, can't you just make it?
Baking bread every morning is going to be a burden. Fortunately, there's machines that can help with the process. You'll buy it for me, right? Since I seem to be so inefficient.
I didn't mean it like that.
Then what did you mean?
Fine.
Alright, next. This way. We're buying a vacuum cleaner, but wouldn't it be simpler just to get a robotic vacuum cleaner instead?
Well, you could just clean on the weekends.
I also work, so my weekends are limited. Don't you understand that?
I know, so can't you just do it more efficiently?
In order to be efficient, it'll definitely be better to buy a vacuum cleaner that will clean by itself during the daytime. We used to handle this together, but now that we're married, I'm expected to do everything, right?
Hey, Haruka, you're getting really loud.
If we're going to follow the rules of the Aizawa family, and since I apparently can't handle this well, you'll buy it for me, right?
I understand, so stop.
Good. Now next. So, I went on to buy a washing machine with a built-in dryer and a large fridge with an extensive freezing capacity. I ended up purchasing all sorts of major appliances, which Rikiya paid for. Then I came home with Rikiya.
What was that about, Haruka?
It's nothing. I'm just doing what I deserve.
All of these things we bought wouldn't be needed if you just do it by yourself.
He doesn't get it. Ugh, this is so annoying.
See, it looks like it's going to rain soon.
And?
The laundry is going to get wet if you don't bring it in soon.
Why don't you do it then?
Excuse me, I went along with all your selfish requests today. Shouldn't you be a little more thankful?
At his words, my anger boiled over. I'm absolutely fed up. I can't do this anymore. I want a divorce. Why do I need to be the one who has to endure all the time?
Huh? What's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong with me. We were doing fine when we split the housework fairly.
That was before we were married. This is different.
What's different? Why does it suddenly become my responsibility to handle everything just because we got married?
Hey, don't get so mad. I'm just saying this for your sake.
For my sake? More like so you can slack off.
That's not what I meant.
Besides, I already told you that I didn't want to quit my job before we got married.
Well, there are times when things don't work out as planned.
So why do you insist on making me take on this responsibility?
I'm not trying to force you into anything.
I don't understand why the second we got married, you suddenly can't do things you used to handle just fine.
Well, you became my wife, so...
So, what are you going to do for me in return?
Well, I work harder so I can support the family.
Even if your salary went up, we would still be much more financially stable if we both worked, right?
Yeah, but...
I didn't marry you so that I could be your caretaker. I married you because I had thought that we could be independent and support each other throughout our life.
That's why I wanted you to support me.
You still don't get it? Then, are you going to support me in return? I'm sorry, but I can't believe you would do something like that anymore.
Wait, Haruka?
I'm leaving. I'm divorcing you before things get worse.
No, Haruka! This was just what my senior had taught me to do.
Huh?
My senior at work told me that the beginning of the marriage is important. So I needed to show my dominance so my wife would respect me.
I see. And?
So that wasn't my true intention, see?
Just because you were told that by somebody else, it doesn't change the fact that you destroyed the trust we had.
So that wasn't my actual intention.
I don't have any intentions of giving you a second chance.
I wasn't serious. I love you.
How about telling your senior in the sales department that you got divorced because of his advice?
Wait, you're kidding me, right? Haruka!
Ignoring Rikiya's protests, I left the house. I decided to stay at a hotel for a few weeks while I settled the needed procedures. Haruka, could you take care of this too? Leave it to me. Since then, I was able to divorce Rikiya. Due to the fact that we had gotten a divorce rather quickly after getting married, I did get a lot of questions from the people around me. But everyone seemed to understand when I explained what had happened. Of course they would. He's really shallow for trying to push all of the responsibility onto his wife. By the way, I heard that Rikiya actually blamed his senior for our breakup.
I didn't mean it like that. I only advised you to support and help each other out as a couple. What? Are you saying that it was my fault?
It seems that this conversation made Rikiya feel uncomfortable at work, and he ended up resigning soon after. Well, I'll just think of this whole experience as a lesson in life. I like your positive way of thinking. Thanks. Well, I better get back to work now. I don't care about Rikiya anymore. I returned to my work in order to lead a life of my own.